What's going on, guys? It's your boy Jersey Boy, and I'm back. Nice to see you again, Jets Nation. And we get back to our winning ways against the New York Giants here. You can see we go back 6-3 in the season, and we crushed them, actually dominating them this entire game, 25 to 5, um, 26 to 5, I believe there. And we have a pretty good offensive game and team showing for us as well, shutting them out in the second half here. So as we can see, Daniel Jones does get in for a few plays. Sam Darnold gets a touchdown, 2 interceptions there. We get a pick from Eli, but the good news is we get another 5 sacks there. So it's nice to see that at a defensive performance for us is what we're leaning towards. Not the best game from Sam Darnold though. Le'Veon Bell, again, not the greatest showing. Sam Darnold does break off a solid run of 21 yards there though. But as you can see, we ended up holding Saquon Barkley to 17 yards on 17 carries. Super ecstatic. I know we had some kind of bonus that we're looking for as well. So I'm almost positive that we achieved that. And then, we get a pair of touchdowns from Bilal Powell making the most of his goal line carries. Christopher Herndon, a touchdown, 92 yards on 8 receptions there. Nice to see. Crowder puts up 61. Quincy Noah has a fallback game, similar with Eli Rogers here. And then Le'Veon Bell gets his usual decent dosage. So let's take a look at who's been leading our way in tackles this game. C.J. Mosley, Williamson, and actually Nickerson, even though he tied with Jamal Adams, only because he got in on more overall tackles here. But nice to see. No complaints there. Quentin Williams gets in the backfield 5 times, and actually, guys, this is a game that puts him over and lets us see what his actual hidden potential trait was going to be. So excited to see that, and this was a good way to get to that ultimate trait there. So Leonard Williams, Abrams, and quite a few other players getting in there. And Jordan Jenkins leads the way, putting 2 more on the season with Marcus May as well. And interception wise, Avery Williamson grabs one for us. And then forced fumble wise, I'm willing to bet Jamal Adams is here. Jordan Jenkins and Adams, yes, he's good for almost one every game. We don't have any defensive touchdowns of noted importance for us, but not really concerned with too much more than that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this X factor that we have here. All things considered, pretty happy with our front 7. Very few teams hold them under 4 yards. But at the end of the day, we did our job. That we did. Super stoked. So we get a 500 XP boost point for our defensive line. And we have plenty of upgrades to go through. So Jamal Adams here. And we will go ahead and increase his hybrid trait. And hopefully get those man coverage and zone cover skills just slightly better. We get +2. Let's see what we're looking at. And you really can't complain looking at him. He's definitely a stud safety. Block shedding is the only thing you can really complain of. But since when are safeties supposed to, be able to maneuver like linebackers? So super thrilled. We'll definitely be re-signing him. Quentin Williams. So we will go ahead and increase his run stopping capability again. But let's go ahead and take a look at what his trait is. So we can see he's a superstar, which is fantastic. He's going to earn as much as he can. He gets a secure tackler superstar ability, and it looks like we have another skill that we can unlock there once he gets to 90, which most likely is his X factor. But we'll go ahead and increase his run blocking, and once I get him to 85 overall, then I'll start taking a look at increasing his pass rush and finesse moves again. But taking a look at his traits, he's progressing really nicely for us. Very strong. He can shed and definitely get into the backfield as we've seen, and he has pretty serviceable power moves and finesse moves that we can get away with. So he will be a monster for us in the middle of our defensive line, definitely for years to come. And we have Shepard here as well. Hopefully we can turn him into something. He does become a scheme fit again, so that should help with his boosted development. But hopefully he sticks around. And then, of course, we have some of our players we know will not be making the roster. But no complaints there. I mean, we got to continue to progress, continue to improve. And this is just part of the cycle we will be starting with Curtis Martin. Now, we can go ahead and progress the week, and we will take a look at the roster that we're going to be placing with the Redskins, which is more defensive heavy. Then offensive heavy, so hopefully that works in our advantage as well. And then let's take a look at some scouting as well. So right now we finished taking a look at most of the linebacking core in the top three. There was nothing that's really stood out. And then we just have the defensive core here for the secondary. So I'm not going to scout them right now, only because I hate when I waste points if I'm not accurately paying attention, even though we have the discount there. So we're going to scout a little bit more of the offensive line, and we will see if there's any more intriguing players in here that we might be able to take advantage of. So with that said, we definitely will have the entire offensive line class scouted. I'm hoping to maneuver and make the most of all of these draft picks we've been able to accumulate so far, and put ourselves in a really good position to, even if we need to double down on some of these players, do just that. But we need to make sure we have a stout line in front of us. So next up, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these contracts that we're offering here, because we still have quite a few. Cody Whitehair still is a little bit providing a little bit of pushback on his contract, so I'll see if boosting the bonus here will help. And it looks like he wants to test out free agency, so I got a feeling this is going to cost us our franchise tag for the season, trying to ensure that we keep him. Although I am going to keep in mind there's a really great center that I have my eyes on in the draft class. Leonard Williams will most likely be looking to do a sign-in trade. Normally you do that with a franchise tag, but I mean, if we give him a decent contract already, I'm sure somebody else won't mind picking him up. Jordan Jenkins has outperformed his season, I'm very sure. I'm positive he's pretty much matched his production from the previous year, or he has at least been getting close to that already. Some of these players are older, and of course they're like bottom depth pieces, so I really don't plan on keeping any of these players. There's no standout traits, like a high coverage or press skill or pass rush or anything that will require me to really keep them. I wouldn't mind keeping Lachlan Edwards or even the kicker, actually, but we also have a lot of late round picks, so it's really going to determine how much we shift and move in the draft if some of those picks go to waste. Mackenzie Alexander we will be keeping, though. I do like him as a very serviceable depth piece, if nothing else, for us, so it's nice to see that we do secure his services. And then the rest of these players should also be some bottom tier roster players for us as well, so not surprising that we aren't keeping many of these guys around. We'll be bringing in a huge influx of talent, most likely between not only the draft but free agency. I'm not big on, I actually take the stance of what the older day Packers would do. I'm much more interested in signing my developing talent rather than bringing in new people. It's just to round out the roster and plug holes when needed. But we can see Alex Smith here, Case Keenum. They have a young Dwayne Haskins in the background being developed. Darius Guice and Bryce Love. So they have two interesting younger rookies. Guice with the injury history, of course, but they couldn't have picked a better halfback to have learned from. Adrian Peterson put up some monster seasons. Doxson, we can see Terrence Williams, Trey Quinn, Terry McLaurin, who had a very good rookie season for him, actually becoming the number one for the team very quickly. Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis, so pretty strong 1-2 punch there for them. Trent Williams leading the way, Chance Warmack, so there's a hole on the left side. Chase Roulier, Brandon Scherf, and Morgan Moses. So overall, serviceable to very strong line, but hopefully we can take advantage of that guard spot. Matthew Iodinis, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and Xavier Williams. Okay, so pretty stout line. As we mentioned, the defense is the big golden ticket here. Ryan Kerrigan, Mason Foster, and Reuben Foster. Are these two actually brothers? I doubt it. Doesn't seem to be, any family resistant. Any family. Unite says, know what I mean. Josh Norman leading the way in the secondary. He is declining. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie also as well. Definitely more of a mental player than a physical one now, as he goes into his 10th, 11th seasons here. Quentin Dunbar, Fabian Morrow leading the way as a younger player, so pretty stout secondary, all things considered. Monte Nicholson and Landon Collins coming over to help enforce the front seven for that team. So it's been looking pretty good. Next, I want to take a look at some of our actual coaching experience, see where we might want to place that. Trade negotiator would be nice, although I'm thinking we'll wait until we get the extra boost of XP in the draft. Excuse me, after this season. I'm sure we'll rack up enough since we've already outperformed. Offensive line would probably be nice to see, keeping in mind that, we are going to be looking to progress that pretty quickly. But I think defensive line has the most talent for us that we can probably take advantage of, if nothing else, just for Quentin Williams alone. So we'll go ahead and place it there, and we will hope that we have enough towards the end of the season for offensive line as well. I do also think it'd probably be a good idea to take a look at our stats for this season, probably. Um, Usually I like to wait to, about every quarter mark. So we would probably want to wait till after the Raiders game. But I haven't done it in a while, and it would be interesting to go ahead and see where our team has been performing at so far. I know the offense has not been putting up, the numbers that you expect from a top 10 team, which I'm not saying we are. But still, I would hope that we at least have been average, but we're in dead last. So almost 2,000 yards for Sam Darnold there, 6-8 touchdown ratio. He does have a strong completion percentage, 77%, and his yards per attempt there are something we can work with, especially considering what we have on the team for him. So we'll be looking for a big jump next year with all the increasing talent, and it'll be a lot of core pieces around him as well. So um, not really concerned with this season. It's kind of a throwaway. Only 529 yards. You can see none of our halfbacks have gone over or at least touched 4 yards per average for the season. Direct correlation with our offensive line talent, but Bilal Powell does get into the backfield, the end zone 5 times, which is nice to see. And then Ty Montgomery, rounding out and making the most of whatever opportunities he can as the third back in our stable of running backs here. Quincy Nunn leads the way, going just over 500 yards for the season. No touchdowns, though. Chris Herndon snagging the most receptions for us so far, almost getting 50. He does get into the end zone twice. Eli Rogers putting up serviceable numbers. He has standout games, and in other games he kind of disappears. And then, of course, there's not much to really speak about with the rest of our team. Le'Veon Bell contributing in the receiving game, of course. Offensive line, we knew this. Not really worried about Cody Whitehair's 6 sacks. He's putting up a sack about every 90 or so snaps, I believe it is, about on average. But it's really about looking towards the future and seeing the pieces that we place around him for next season. He doesn't have anybody really trustworthy to his left or right, so I'm sure he's probably reaching to make sure he can do everything he can that's in front of him. But there's only so much one player can do. This is a team sport. So taking a look at our top 3 in solos, CJ Mosley, Jamal Adams, and Brian Poole leading the way. Excited to see. The bad news is that we have 2 out of our top 3 here as secondary members, which isn't great to see. CJ Mosley, Quentin Williams, and another rookie in Ja'Kai Polite leading the way for us getting into the backfield. 8 sacks for Jordan Jenkins, so love it. Definitely outperforming his previous season, so he's a steady, consistent, improving performer for us. He'll definitely be getting kept around for the long haul, hopefully. Nathan Shepard, he puts up 5.5 sacks for us. I can see Quentin Williams with 3, and then we have quite a handful from a few other players, Jamal Adams and them getting into the backfield. So not a crazy explosion there with sack numbers, but we'll see how things continue to trend. 3 interceptions for Poole. Avery Williamson gets in there twice, and then Adams and Alexander gets 1 apiece for the season so far. I want to take a look at our fumbles because I'm almost positive Adams has gotten at least 1 every game per average, which that is the case with him having a team high 10. So double digits on the season already, which is crazy. And then we can see we have 4 and 2 more from some of our front 7 members there. CJ Mosley, Jordan Jenkins, and then some people on our line getting there as well and getting in on the action. And then we have a few defensive touchdowns this season. So a couple pick sixes for Alexander and Brian Poole, and then Copeland gets in there on a fumble recovery for us to help lead the way. We're trying to keep us in games and, make sure that the season doesn't get boring for us and we continue this trend. So, all in all, I'm happy that we did decide to let Adam Gase go and we brought in Curtis Martin to help lead the way. Taking a look at, the stats on the season, we are up there, sixth in the rankings, considering the job he's done leading our team. I wouldn't be surprised if he was even closer, maybe 3 or 4. So that's nice to see. Mahomes leading the way in the MVP as well as Offensive Player of the Year rankings. No surprise. Jerome Baker there. Adams and Mosley is leading the way for our team. Hopefully we overtake him and get that boost of XP. Be great to see. Offensive rookie Marquise Brown of the Ravens leading the way. And of course, we won't have any talent from our side there as we've been struggling all over. Juan Thornhill just above Quinnen Williams. So I'm hoping he has some more great games in him and we overtake that because that'd be a perfect cherry on top for him. And then Ja'Kai Polite gets in there as well. Mahomes, of course, leading the way. Don't expect to see Darnold here. Maybe next season for us as we make these improvements, as well as running back. Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette there leading the way. No surprises. Two very talented halfbacks. Corey Davis turning his career around. He's leading the way as the best wide receiver in the AFC. So nice to see that he's turned things around. I know he didn't get the production they were looking for. Mitchell Schwartz of the Chiefs as well, leading the way in offensive line talent. Again, don't expect any Jets contributors really anywhere on this offensive line side. Chris Jones there, Quinnen Williams, okay, coming in at 10th. He's in league with a lot of very talented guys, though, so I'm really happy to just see his name amongst some of these players here that we see on the defensive line. Von Miller leading the way. We have C.J. Mosley and Jenkins, though. Third and fifth, respectively. Jamal Adams coming in at fourth in the defensive backfield with Brian Poole there in the sixth position. And then our kickers nowhere to be seen there. So we have potentially the capability to have a really strong finish to the season. But with that said, guys, I would appreciate any likes, comments, definitely subscribe. You know what it is. I love any feedback that you guys can give me. And with that said, guys, it's your boy Jersey Boy, and I'm out. Peace.